Right, I am on it today. As you can see, I've got my coffee and I've got my chicken. I'm trying to do all this one-handed as I don't have my daughter with me today, but I'm on it today. I want to try and get through all of my jobs as quick as possible so that I can get back this afternoon and get on the driving range and hit a few shots for golf. So I don't know if any of you follow me on TikTok, but you may have seen a video just a couple of days ago where I was talking about how quiet it was. This was on Monday. Really stressing. Anyone who runs a business will know these types of stresses where, if you don't have that huge contract or continuity of work, that you do tend to stress about keeping people busy, keeping the business ticking, keeping the cogs moving, really, keeping that revenue coming in. So I was pretty stressed on Monday. We're now on Wednesday, and now coincidentally some jobs have come in, fairly big jobs as well, that will see us okay now for the week. So that's a relief. But however, we are still only working week by week and would like to realistically be booked up far more advanced than that. But it is the summer months coming and this does tend to drop off, which is exactly why we've gone into air conditioning. Done the air conditioning yesterday on my own home. Bits to learn from, but it went really well. So yeah, we're hoping for a really busy summer on the air conditioning, which will balance out those quieter months. Right, here we are, just arrived at the first job. I want to show you something first, though. I want people's opinions on this. Leave it in the comments below. But, so you see this tool bag here. It's the Vito Pro Pack Tech Series. Just a little mini tool bag, quite small, but really handy. I've had it for free. You can see here. Yeah, it's brand new. There's no tools or anything in there. I'll try and see if I can open it up and just show you what the storage is like inside. Yeah, enough room there to put a couple of sort of spanners, grips, screwdrivers, and a couple of bits of the essentials. Got a couple of little pockets in it here and there. What I want to know is, what would you put in this mini tool bag? Here we are on our first job. We have a boiler service and gas safety check to complete. Okay, so that is a no-no. Cable tied to the gas pipe. We'll get that moved aside, I guess. Maybe note that down on a gas safety check. Okay, so here we have the main Eco Compact to service and do a safety check on. Quite nice boilers to service these are, so let's get into it. Okay, so I've done basic servicing on this boiler at the minute. I'm going to give it, because I'm not sure of the age of the boiler due to this being a rental, it could be still within its first year, so I'm going to do some fluid analysis tests. Depending on the results then, what readings I get back will depend whether I do a full strip down then on the main combustion chamber. Okay, I appreciate that the sound of my gas analyzer is a dreadful noise on the video, but this is just to show you that we're going to be sampling these ports now. We'll put the boiler into service mode and then we'll see what readings we get. Okay, so the readings are looking off. I'm getting 9.4. I'm getting 9.4 CO2, which on minimum, which is pretty high. So that says to me that the gas valve needs altering. So I use, as you can imagine, every gas valve has different ways of turning them and altering them. So I use this app, brilliant app. Just put in the GC number. Let's go to it. Where is it? 4746715. There it is. Boiler model comes up. We go to gas valve. It will then take you straight to the page for the adjusting the gas valve and the readings that it needs to be. This is our adjustment for the maximum. We take this cover off here. This is our adjustment for our minimum. So we're just going to take this off and alter this to get. We're looking for 8.5, I believe. I'll double check that again on minimum. So I'm just going to need another Allen key to go in there. Yeah, so you'll see on there we're looking for 8.5 and we've currently got 9.5 on minimum. So we are going to adjust this now. So anti-clockwise will decrease. So we'll give that a little turn and watch the CO2 go down. The issue we tend to have sometimes when trying to do this is it takes so long to adjust them, and if it's a small property with very minimal radiators, that the boiler or the system can overheat quite quickly. To try and overcome this, what we can do is take the sensor off the flow for the hot water, so that won't. So if I turn the tap on now, it won't detect any hot. We'll have to remove the diverter cartridge as well to allow that to go into the mid position, and what that'll do is it'll dump some of the heat through the hot water tap. Something I must point out here, these videos are for entertainment purposes only, and you should most definitely be a gas registered engineer to be able to work on any gas appliance. So whilst yes, I'm showing you things that I'm doing within the boilers, do not try these if you are not gas registered. I cannot stress that enough. Obviously picking up little bits and pieces from YouTube videos is not sufficient enough to be competent at being able to work on these boilers. You have to do the full gas safe training to be able to be competent to be able to do this work. Okay, so I'm getting very close now to getting the readings where they need to be on this. It's taking quite a bit of time. We've got to be slow with it, so one turn, leave it for 30 seconds or so, gives enough time for the gas valve to alter, which in turn will then change the combustion process, and the readings then will come through the gas analyzer. So it all takes a few seconds to adjust itself. In the past, in the beginning if you like, what I used to do is I'd turn it too many times and then find the boiler would knock off because you've like overdone it, and then you've got to then start all over again. Right, I am proper running behind. I've got to head to Barry Island. Well, I say Barry Island. Got to head to a job in Barry now. So, what are you experiencing exactly with this one then?
So it's just not really flushing.
It doesn't go away.
No, or it'll take like a good few once, and the water comes up really high.
Do we know if the power is on to the macerator? The cable goes through the wall there, so let's have a little look. Macerators are the bane of our lives.
Yeah, they just. What is it? Is it just that?
So what a macerator is that. So basically, there's no drainage here.
Okay, yeah.
So what they've done, this unit will just store the water. So as you pull the flush, the water from the toilet goes into the unit, and then there's a float switch. So as the float rises because of the increase of water, that will then activate the pump, and there's a pump that will pump the water then vertically up through that pipe, and it'll take it to wherever the nearest drain is, I guess. Whether that, I mean, we'll have a proper look in a minute, but whether that goes, into the main soil stack. And there's also a propeller inside that will spin and then chop up all the waste and everything to make it small enough to be able to go up and travel through the pipe. The issues we get with these is people put the wrong things down the toilets, and will then damage the float switch or any of the components inside. And of course, I mean, I can already see there, look, can you see this pipe here is kinked?
Oh, so that could be what she's on about then.
Possibly. Plus as well, then we don't know how far this, because they have a limit to how far they can be run.
Okay.
Because it's pumped, there's like a limit vertically and then horizontally. So we'll have to find that out really. Harry, if you're watching this is why I'm going to quote to change that macerator. This is a private customer, so it'll mean, and I've already just educated her on the fact that they are and can be very temperamental. So if you do have a new one fitted, don't put any harsh chemicals down. Be careful what you're putting down there, etc., and only use it for number ones. And I really do believe that a private customer like that will look after having a macerator, whereas a lot of the rental properties, we are not doing macerators anymore. Because we've just, in the past, we've had so many comebacks, which have not even ended up being our fault then. So we've put a close to macerators on estate agents. But I'd be interested to know what, if you guys who are watching are plumbers as well, how do you deal with the whole macerator situation? Do you just still do them, or is there any terms and conditions you put in place for the macerators, like saying, if X, Y, and Z happens, we won't cover this? Bit of a minefield, really. And especially as well, looking at that one, I can't see, or I don't know how the distance to the vertical and horizontal run of the waste pipe works. So again, I could fit a new macerator there, and I could, if the pipe run is already over what the manufacturers allow for, I could be pissing in the wind. So that's what I'm saying, it can be a minefield. Right, I want to specifically speak about that boiler service that I've just carried out there for that customer. Well, the camera, because we weren't recorded at the time, but one point while I was up in the bedroom doing that service, the customer shouted up, he's like, is everything okay, mate? Obviously he'd kind of, that's taken us just over the hour mark, and he'd obviously thought to himself, this is taking longer than normal, there must be a problem. Now straight away, as soon as he said that, I knew that whoever's been servicing in his boiler before has not been servicing it properly. And I did ask him, I said at the end, I was like, people who normally have serviced this boiler before didn't take as long as I've taken, did they? He's like, no, definitely not. So, he's had the job report given to him at the end with the the boiler service certificate, and photos showing the service that we've done. And he was just like, I've never had a service like this before. Now, the company he was using before, quite a big company, and it just shows that, by using some of these bigger companies, you just get swallowed up and the level of service diminishes, which is such a shame, really. But what that means for us, and which is why we believe that we offer a really good service, is for reasons like that and feedback like that shows the service that we offer. I mean, that boiler was very old, and he's considering and talking about potentially changing that boiler. I got no question of a doubt that at some point in the future that will be a new boiler install for us to do. No hard sell, nothing. Just giving good customer service and providing the service that you say you're going to do means that you're ensuring yourself future work. So just burning now. What I am looking for here, so we can see the burner is lit, which is great. What I'm looking for is to see if there's any heat that is going to transfer down this flow pipe. I can already feel some heat being picked up there. That is an indicator to a blocked plate heat exchanger. And the fan's modulating down. And there we are, literally just as I stopped the recording, you can see the flame is extinguished and you can hear that kettling inside the primary heat exchanger. So that is super overheated, and I'll imagine as well that's why we've got this on the top here, where it's just, the likelihood is possible that the state inside that heat cell is going to be ridiculous. But you can literally hear the tap still running. What's happening now is the cold water's running through the boiler still, cooling that down. The sensor will probably detect that the temperature's cooled down in a minute. So with it being blocked, what's happening is it's overheating and the boiler's doing what it should do and cutting out through being too hot. All in all, very busy day today. It's now 5:45, so actually quite a late one today, which is good. You enjoy getting the work in. I was only moaning earlier this week that we didn't have enough work in, and all of a sudden it's just exploded. The job for the new boiler and 10 radiators to be installed has come in. That's been given the go ahead, so that's a massive breathing space that we're going to have now as a business, knowing that next week is pretty much taken care of. I know we'll have a few other jobs squeezed in between, but yeah, it comes at such a huge relief when jobs like that come in. It just gives you that peace of mind knowing that things are taken care of for a bit longer, and you don't have to stress and worry. But with business, you're always trying to think of the next step further ahead if possible. So, I'm not just going to sit back and be like, yeah, we've got next week booked up. If things come in, things to quote, then we will absolutely be getting it booked in and quoted to keep us well ahead of ourselves.
Taste it.